us for the Entrepre-Doers morning show. Thank you so much, everyone who is here. We really appreciate it. Today we have two special guests with us, one of which is on time, Miss T from My Great Finds for You and Auctions for You. I do have both of her channels linked down below, and I also have Donatella's channel linked down below. She'll be joining us any minute now. I sent her the link to two different Facebook things, so hopefully she's got it. My co-host over here, Mr. Tommy 2.0, the bargain effect.
I thought Donna was dressed up as the Invisible Woman and she was here.
Touche, it is Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
And then we got the best beard in the business down there. Nate, every day I'm hustling. Slack and vaping. So yeah, good everybody. I'll go ahead and greet a few people, and then we'll let everybody kind of introduce themselves. First person in today getting the brownie points is my cousin-in-law / her kids Santino and Isaiah, who are like obsessed, thinking I'm like some kind of famous YouTuber. So what's up, Tino and Zay? Good to see you guys. So they get the brownie points today, Tommy. You can just put Santino down. Well, what we're doing, guys, and for those of you who are new to the show,
that Alexandria name?
Yeah, you can just put Santino. Yeah, okay. That's their mom. Those are my nephews that you guys have seen on the channel. But right. What we're doing for those of you who are new, the first person that comments in the chat, we're doing this brownie point system at the end of the month, which I think is November 24th from when we started it. Somebody is going to get a brownie-themed package sent from Tommy and I. So you can look forward to that. So now you're entered in that, Tino and Zay. Good morning to Sandollar, Justin Jacobs. What's up, buddy? Ciosa Sales. How are you today, Lisa? We have DC Sales, the master of the license plate. We got Land Shark Picker. What's up, Craig?
What up, Craig?
Rum Stump Reseller. Hey, Jamie. Good to see you. Says good morning, Halloweeners. We got Uniquely Me. What's up, Tracy? Good to see you. I saw that Tommy scheduled a show for tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Glad to see you guys doing your thing tonight.
What time, Tommy?
Tommy
Bernhard. Tommy Bernhard.
Oh, Tommy Bernhard. Okay.
Yep.
Tommy 1.0.
Yeah, 1.0. Michelle Lathan, good morning to you. Stuff from Sally says good morning from rainy Maine. It's rainy here in Pittsburgh, too.
Here it is, too. Yep.
I got my humidifier running.
It's snowing here.
Yeah. I swear every trick-or-treat day that the kids, ever since I've had kids, from 6 years ago on, it's rained every trick-or-treat. So it's always if we go, the kids get sick, or I'm in the car with them.
Yeah.
It stinks.
This next one's for you, Tommy. Flipping crooters.
Them flipping crooters.
See what else we got here. Headland Profits, good morning to you. Glad to see you guys. I'm going to toss you a wrench since I see you here all the time. Steven Scroggins, how you doing, buddy? I'm going to toss you one, too. You're here every morning. And at the Flip It, I see you a lot as well. I'm going to toss you one as well. Philly Picker, good morning to you. Samantha Smith, good to see you again. You're becoming a regular. That's what I like to see. Chronic Pest, how are you doing? Neville, good morning from Australia. Ads, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. I'm going to go ahead and toss you a wrench, too, just because you're awesome. But if anybody else is here, feel free to say hello, and I'll greet you. John, Nevermore Antiques, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Cody Bruh, what's up, my man? Snowing in Chicago. That sucks.
Ugh.
Is it snowing over there, Tommy?
Yeah, we got light flurries. It's starting to settle on things, so
I'm not ready for snow.
I figured it was snowing.
I wanted to do some fishing this weekend, but I don't want to do snow fishing.
I don't blame you.
It's crazy. We just had 90-degree weather, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Now it's snowing and all types of shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, Tommy, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, Tommy, the Bargain Effect, your average everyday flipper, product relocation specialist. I just buy wherever I buy, auctions, thrift stores, online auctions, and sell it for a higher price online. Try to make a profit. That's about my story.
Nate, would you like to step forward from the vape cloud and introduce yourself?
I'm Nate. Every day I'm hustling. I sell on Amazon, eBay, and recently Macari is my newest thing. I'm trying to cross post some things too. Try and find deals on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm the new spokesman for new eBay or Amazon sellers. So anybody wants to give it a try, I'll help them out. So just let me know.
Heck yeah, my first package hit the warehouse today, so I'm excited to see how quickly it sells. And then finally, our guest, T. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is T. My Great Find for You was my original channel. I'm still trying to put some content out there around the eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, Etsy, all that fun platforms I sell on. And now have a new channel, Auctions for You, which we do auctions for, but coming up 5 nights a week. So
It's awesome.
I'm going to increase that by another night. We haven't decided which one yet because we have such a calling from everybody else. We had Lisa from Flipping Crazy. I see Lisa in the chat. Welcome. And congratulations to Philly Picker. Lisa hit 300 subs, and she gave away her gift last night, and Philly Picker won that. So congratulations. And 3 nights I do auctions with Donna Telebattolino, who's late, and she's in so much trouble. She said she thought it was 11. She's a liar. I'm calling you out on TV because last night in the auction, we told you it was 10. And I have 50 witnesses.
I thought it was 10 YouTube time.
Yeah, I still shout out to Landshark Picker Craig. He always said we should have a YouTube time, and there should be a YouTube time across the board.
That would be nice.
I agree. It should be like a little clock every time you watch YouTube, like, and it just ticks off. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Just one time.
Because everybody,
I did drop a link for your Auctions for You channel right there in chat. So
thank you, and I'll keep commenting in the chat. I like when they hit the 3 dots, because otherwise we take them out of the show. We don't want them to disappear.
Yeah, true.
But Tuesday nights we do 9 p.m. Wednesday nights it's based on whoever my guest is, whatever time they want to start. And then Fridays we do a 9 p.m. almost like a marathon type of auction, and Sundays at 3 p.m. And then we're going to stick in another day. I'm not sure when yet. So we'll figure that one out and accommodate the other people, because a lot of people have been asking. So we'll see. But thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Come on anytime you'd like.
Thanks.
Hey, Shad Juice. Good to see you, buddy. Jumped in the chat. Tommy Bernard. Good to see you, man. Rusted Raccoon. What's going on, Tony? Glad to see you. Anybody else I missed, you can just yell at me in the chat and I'll say hello. Kelly, you call Mom Ward. I don't know if I said hi to you yet, but if not, hello. Cherry Picker, Veronica, good to see you. Flipping Crazy, what's up, Lisa? You had a good auction last night. So T, I'm curious, like, how did you get into reselling, and how long have you been reselling?
Well, as far as eBay is concerned, I've been a novice eBay seller since like 2000. On and off. I started because we bought this house in 1999, and just before we moved in, my aunt passed away. And my husband had a house, I had a house, and I inherited my aunt's everything because I was her mortgage partner in the business. So I not only inherited the business, her condo, and her entire contents of her home. So we moved my home, my husband's home, and her home into this house. Now, it's a pretty big house, but it wasn't that big at the time, and it was crazy. I probably gave a ton of stuff away the first 5 garage sales I did because I didn't know Louis Vuitton from Chewy McGilla. You know, like I knew nothing. I knew nothing about it. And when I think about the stuff that she probably had such good stuff. I gave it away. My husband too. In fact, when I met my husband, unfortunately, he's a widow, and his first wife was into Elvis and Disney.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't save a stitch of that stuff either. You know, that's you live and you learn. But so I did that. I did eBay probably for a dozen years, just kind of auction 50 free, and then eventually became a store. I'm now an anchor store. I was up to about 7,000 or 8,000 listings, but I had 4,700 plus books up there. So that kind of was I never did Amazon, so I always put the books up on eBay, and then I woke up and said, "What the hell am I doing? Let's get these books on Amazon."
Yeah.
I recently purged through 3,000 books because I found Scout IQ to figure out how to do this book thing on Amazon, and that's kind of my new gig. And I haven't done anything else on Amazon, just the books. So working on that. Cross post with List Perfectly on Posh and most recently Macari. Couple of listings on Etsy, nothing major. And now the auction. So as of 3 weeks ago, I formally resigned from corporate America. I'm no longer corporate employed, unemployed, as George would say.
I wish I could say that.
And you know, it's not easy. I took a big leap of faith here. You know, with the big job, money, salary. So we'll see.
Congratulations! I know you're going to do great. You know, you have a great mind for business, just from what I've seen from you thus far.
You're set up pretty good too. I mean, the amount of listings you have, and you're doing Amazon, which it's going to help you bring like a steady stream. If you add anything extra, like, you know, if you go shopping or whatever, you know, sourcing or whatever for that, you'll see a nice steady stream of money, almost like a paycheck for the most part. So I'll be interested to see, you know, how things go and go with that for you.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks.
Miss Donna's with us now too.
You're late.
I am in so much trouble. You guys have no idea. I'm like so afraid right now. See, I'm afraid of her. I'm afraid of her. See, I swear, I know I asked in the live stream. I was convinced it was 11 o'clock. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry for being late, you guys.
Last night in the auction,
don't yell at me. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I'm sorry, everybody in the audience. I'm sorry. I'm here now.
She goes in the corner. She gets a timeout.
She just wanted to do the big entry, you know.
I knew it.
It is always about Donna, though, ST. So I'm sorry I missed what you guys were talking about. And hello, everybody in the chat. I see everybody. Thank you for joining this morning. And so I don't know what I missed. I guess I just heard your story, but I already knew that, T. So I really didn't miss anything.
Even Tracy's telling me to smack you.
Oh God. Trust me, you guys, I will hear about it as soon as this show is over. I will hear about it. You should have reminded me this morning, T.
You told me at 9:30 you were jumping in the shower. What the hell did I know?
Oh, I thought I had plenty of time. Anyways, thank you for having me on. Thank you for having us on. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
Anytime.
And thank you.
So for those people in here that haven't experienced you guys in your auction yet, do you want to introduce yourself, Donna?
Okay. So I am Donatella Bottolino, but I go by Donna. My friends call me Donna. And I live in beautiful South Florida in the Palm Beaches. I'm married to a man that I've known since he was 11 years old. And we have 4 teenagers. We have a 16, 17, 18, and 19-year-olds. So I am a very busy woman. I have been for 19 years. I lost my 18-year-old son, lives in heaven. I lost him to pancreatic cancer when he was 11 years old. And shortly after I buried him, we lost him, I opened up a charity store to help families that were going through pediatric cancer, like my husband and I went through. My husband basically and I couldn't work for like 2.5 years while he was undergoing treatment. The hospitals here in Florida told him that he had 2 months to live. If anybody knows anything about pancreatic cancer, it is a silent killer. They told him he had 2 months to live. And so we had him for 2.5 years. We would go back and forth to Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York City, which you know that hospital is like world renowned, the best hospital in the world. And we were very blessed that we had a doctor that helped us. Anyway, so my shop, I had it for 5 years and it failed. My friends don't like to hear me say that because I did help a lot of families when I had the store, but the store was called The Give, and I would give away more than I had a lot of donations. I couldn't sell enough to sustain the expenses of having a store, which brick and mortar, anybody knows, the rent, the electric, the insurance, the phone, all of that. So after 5 years, I closed it, and I walked away with a almost $30,000 debt. When I closed it, I saved some items to sell on eBay to try to pay off my debt because I didn't want to not pay the people that I owed or file bankruptcy, which I was able to do that selling on eBay for, it took me about 1.5 years to do that. And do I hear a dog crying?
No, that's Nate's kids.
Oh. So I did that. I paid off my debt, and I was selling on eBay, and I had a successful eBay store. I had, at my highest, I had about 1,800 items listed on my eBay store. And I started running out of inventory, and I used to buy storage units back 19 years ago. And I said, you know what, I'm going to start dabbling into storage units again. And I started buying storage units to get inventory to sell on my eBay store. And pretty soon I had too much inventory, and I did score that one big unit that was what brought me to start doing auctions, which was Derek, NASCAR Man 3345. I looked for him all over the internet because at the time I was following like Casey Paris and Star from Flippin' Hippos and Lindy Glenn and some of those people to kind of learn, the ropes on eBay. And so I hunted down Derek and I found him, and he did my very first auction for me. And we were doing single items. Like we were trying to auction off like one NASCAR, one t-shirt, one of items. And then I discovered that when I was bundling things up in like 3 NASCARs or like 3 t-shirts or 3 Harley Davidsons, that people were bidding on them and wanting the quantity more than the single items. So that's how it evolved to what I do today with tea. I do bulk auctions on my channel and on her channel. We split it up. My channel has grown to over 1,600 plus subscribers in just under 7 months, which is awesome. It's really, really awesome. I'm really happy for that, and I've had a lot of help along the way. People giving me shout outs and supporting the channel. And so that's what I do. So I do this full time. I buy storage units. I have a lot of videos on my channel showing what I do. And you can see on my channel what I do is I sort usually right at the facility. And I have bins in my garage where I like full of pocketbooks, full of like collectibles, full of vintage items, full of paper. And then when I do my auctions, I'll pull the bins. And I do also, like this week, I didn't buy any storage units. So there's a pallet guy that I have a relationship with that sells me all brand new with tags items, which is really awesome because I'm able to bring that stuff to auction too. He only sells to like really big people, But I always say like I'm a thorn in his side because I show up and he lets me like pick and choose things out of like cherry pick out of his palettes. I have bought 2 palettes from him. One was all brand new clothes and one was all toys. So I have him that I go to, and I also thrift in. I try to thrift in like if I have like 9 pocketbooks and I want to do a lot of 10 pocketbooks, like I'll stop in a thrift store and see if I can pick up with a couple of bags to add to my lot of 10 so that I can present a lot of 10. So that's what I do. It's pretty long-winded, right?
That's awesome, though.
So yeah, that's what I do, and I'm first a mom and a wife, and it's a lot. It's a lot. We have a big house, and there's the house. The kids are really active. You see, I sell a lot of video games because my kids don't play video games. I wish they would, because then they would stay home and I'd know where they are. The kids are athletes and they're always like on the go, always running. So I love what I do, and I love George and Jeremy Hales from What the Hales. She came up with that slogan, "Fun Employed." And I am so totally fun employed right now. Don't get me wrong. You can see in some of the videos where I am absolutely exhausted and sweating and sunburnt, and my back hurts for days afterwards. Sometimes when I'm cleaning up these storage units, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. Anybody who has bought a storage unit knows. There's a lot that goes with buying storage units. It takes days. But I was just telling a friend of mine, I said, it takes me like 3 days to prepare for my auctions. I do auctions 3 days a week, and it takes me about 3 days to ship out my items. And she's like, Donna, that's 9 days. She's like, that's only 7 days in a week. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. So it's never enough time. But I love it. I love what I do.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, from somebody who's actually purchased from your auctions before, you do a great job.
Thank you.
You really do.
Thank you. And it's very rewarding, Anthony. I get letters from people all the time. People that couldn't otherwise go out and source for their own merchandise. Like I have a lot of my customers, friends. They're my friends now. That some of them are like senior citizens and they like to supplement their disability income or their Social Security income, and they buy from me, and they don't have to go out and source. I have people that live in the middle of nowhere that have to drive an hour and a half to get to the closest thrift shop and then hope that they find something. So it's really great because they can sit in the comfort of their home and buy what they want and bid on it and get it delivered right to their house. They never have to leave. And it's turned out to be a really great little gig for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful for this one because we make a really good team.
You really do.
She's awesome. She keeps me straight. She's like all corporate. She's like, I'm a house mom, really. Like
we have to follow rules. I keep telling her. This is a business. This is business.
It's a business. It definitely is. I mean, when I first started doing it, it was like, all right, I'll try this. Let's see how this goes. But now it's turned into a full-blown, I'm working full-time. It's my business. Like, this is my business now. It's awesome.
So do you want me to take Craig's question here, Landshaw Picker?
Sure.
So he's asking if you think YouTube will ever regulate the auctions on here. Well, there is regulations for online selling, and every state has a different requirement. So here in New York, I am not required to have an auctioneer's license to sell like this online. But in Florida, Donna is. That's why Jeremy and George, when we talk to Jeremy all the time, they're going to auctioneer school to get their auctioneer's license for both, right? To do locally and online, because the state of Ohio requires you licensed in both. Now, some states have different requirements online versus, in person. A lot of states, you don't need it to do it online, but you do need it obviously to do an auction in person, be that person selling cattle in the Midwest, or here on Long Island, we have a Friday night guy who does, I think after all the estate sales are done, he collects all the stuff and he auctions them up. So depending on what kind of role you play, depends. If you are an auctioneer in New York City, you do need to be licensed locally in the city if you're doing it from a specific auctioneer site, like a house. So every state is different, and online versus in person is different as well.
See, I tried to get that answer from Wisconsin, here in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Auction Association, whether I would need to have a license to call an auction like on YouTube or whatever, because they do require an auction license for local sales. And they were unable to answer my question.
They should have online answer yes or no, but I can look into it for you because I have a good resource.
Okay, yeah, because they call. I mean, it took me like 3 days to get a hold of them, trying to call them, whatever. And I talked to the lady, and she tried to look it up and call me back, and she's like, "We don't show any regulation for online auctions. All ours are for in-person live auctions." She's like, "So I really can't answer that question." And I'm like,
right. The only thing
I was like, "So what do I do?" She's like, "Well, just go ahead and call it, and if it's wrong and somebody calls you on it, just stop."
He's asking if they ever want a piece of the pie. And again, like eBay started now with e-commerce, right? Collecting sales tax for certain states. There may be a day where there'll be a requirement where if, Donna sells a lot to me here in New York, she will have to collect New York State sales tax. I'm sure there's some kind of, going to be regulations when it comes to that, but right now we shouldn't buy any of that stuff. And it's all about when Big Brother finds out who's earning the bucks. Right?
I see Rebecca says that in Minnesota she wouldn't need an auction license to sell her own stuff, but she would if she was to sell other people's stuff at auction.
T, can you check and see if I need one?
Yes, you do. I did.
Oh, I do need one?
Yes.
To sell can I sell my own stuff, or I need one to sell other people's stuff?
To be an auctioneer. Now, whether or not for your own stuff, it's all about the person who's calling the auction that I know. As far as, what we do, it's because you're shipping it out of state and I'm calling it from New York, you're not required to.
Okay.
Like, we talked about maybe me doing a pop-up and selling stuff. You technically you can't call the auction.
Okay, so you're going to have somebody else do it. Sorry. Or I could see what it takes to get do I have to go to auctioneer school to be?
Yeah, there's a lot of requirements. It depends on the state, and Florida is one of the tougher ones. Florida, Texas,
no surprise there.
Well, I'm surprised in New York, believe me. But I do have a resource, and I can kind of break it down. But you definitely in Florida need a license.
Well, a couple of pickers in Florida, you have to have a license. Couple of pickers, do you know if I need a license to call my own stuff to get on YouTube and sell my own stuff? We'll see what they say. Florida has a 7-day school.
That's not bad.
I was looking up if Pennsylvania has anything like that. I don't see anything for auctions.
No, you guys aren't required. That's why Anthony can call auctions. He's fine.
Oh, okay. They don't have that, but they have mobile peddler license.
Okay, so Lisa just said, let's see, I'm sorry for interrupting you. She said, when auction is conducted by a person, no. When the auction is conducted by software only, found this online. Oh, what does that mean? I don't know. For the state. Yes, you do. I need an auctioneer license to auction off my own stuff because I was told I didn't. I guess that's something I'm going to have to look into.
Oh, okay. You said in Orlando area.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like I said, sometimes it depends on what county you're in. Because for me here on Long Island, I'm not required. But if you live in New York City and you're a live auctioneer in New York City, you do need it. So it really depends on where you are.
Where did you look, T, to find out that information?
I'll send you the link. I did it a couple of days ago and had the information, because when you asked me last night about it, I said, "Oh, I got to check Florida." I never really looked. I was more concerned about New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know shout out to Rebecca too, because she had been the one who had originally checked for New York when I wanted to start doing this, and she said I was good to go. So.
Okay, good. So if anybody in the chat is kind enough to check Palm Beach County for me, that would be great. One less thing I have to do. I have to ship out like 35 packages today, so I want to make sure that I'm okay with all that. Okay, so
T, how did you get into auctions? Have you ever done any auctions outside of YouTube auctions?
No, honestly, no. It just, you know what? It just so happened that, you know, I met Donna through Derek's auctions, really, and I really hadn't had any inkling of doing it at all. And I think, you know, one day we kind of got together, and Derek wasn't available, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, Derek had something to do, and he wasn't available, and I wanted to do the auction, and T was like, well, I could do it for you if you want. I mean, I'll give it a shot. So she did it, and we just had such a good time. I mean, I have a good time with Derek too. I mean, our auction last Sunday together was awesome. It was, you know, we had a good time. But I don't know, you know, you guys, when you meet someone and you have that like instant connection, like we're the same age, and you know, we're women, and you know, you have that instant connection with someone, and you're like, you feel like you've known them your whole life. I mean, that is so hard to find, you know, in real life, when you meet someone and you immediately like, I love this person, like this person like gets me, and you know, so that's how I felt when I met T. So that's how we just took off together, you know, doing it. And it was actually my idea. I'm taking credit for it, for T to open up her own Auctions for You YouTube channel, and to drive a bunch of people over to her YouTube channel to, you know, get her going on this. And, you know, maybe someday she'll have, you know, 500,000 subscribers and, you know, get monetized and all of that. I mean, that's what we're shooting for, is to do that. You know, we're going to keep some auctions on my channel and flip flop, and some auctions on her channel. It's a little confusing for people. Like, I've gotten some complaints over email, like they don't know where to go. Can we do a schedule? So we have to like really put out a schedule at this point, because we do have a lot of followers. I mean, I used to get excited when I had 22, 23 people in the room, and now, like, I did a pop-up auction Sunday night. I went on at 9:30 at night, and I was on until almost 1:30 in the morning. I did it by myself. I didn't bother T. I just went on by myself, and I had almost 80 people in the room at like 12 o'clock at night. It was crazy. It was
link for you, Donna. Rob and Lisa dropped it from a couple of pickers.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
They've been going live a lot. For those of you in the chat that don't know them, couple of pickers, they're very knowledgeable. They also have an anchor store like T does, and they kill it, guys. So there's a lot of good knowledge out there. I stand by their you know, their channel and their content. So you can.
So I think D is asking flipping particles. That's D, right? Yeah, that's D.
Okay.
She said, what did you sell? Is she asking me that question? What did I sell Sunday night?
She might be asking Samantha, because she just had her first sale.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, Donna sells everything. I was gonna say, yeah, you sell everything.
I do. Whatever I find, I'll present it, and we try it, and if no one's interested, we'll just say pass. But guess what? Like, I presented a lot of pocketbooks. Was it with you, T, and no one bid on it, and we passed it? This was in the very beginning.
way back, yeah.
Remember that? It was a lot of designer pocketbooks one night, right? No one bid on it, so we passed it, and I put it aside. And I always have like 10 bundles like ready to go all the time. I always keep bundles ready to go. And then we brought it back like 2 months later, remember, T?
Yeah.
And I ended up selling it for like $170. Remember?
Yeah,
It was
it just depends on who's in the chat, you know.
I didn't get one bid on it the first time around. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was all beautiful handbags, and I was so happy that they didn't sell because, sometimes I look at stuff that I get. So I basically liquidated my entire eBay store to auctions. I've liquidated it. I've shut down my big store. I only have a little store now, and I'm being very selective to what I list in my little store. I only want to list high-end items because I used to do like DVDs, for $8.99, $9.99 plus free shipping. So after the eBay fees, and I used to be like, well, it helps the algorithm and it gets people to the store, and maybe they'll look at my other stuff. But I have completely liquidated my big store into my auctions, and sometimes I'll have something that is very valuable, and I'm like, oh, should I post this in the eBay store or should I offer it to my customers for them to be able to make money? And I'm all about the quick flip these days. I want to like turn my money around really, really quick so I can go buy the next storage unit. And sometimes I'll have expensive items and I only get one bid on it and I'm paying for shipping. So it's costing me $10 to ship out, the items. And there's stuff in there that's like so expensive and I'm not making any money on it. By the time I ship out the items and, you consider a few dollars for my time putting the bundles together and the PayPal fees, I'm not making any money. And people sometimes walk away with very, very expensive items from me that they can turn around and flip. And that's really, really hard for me. Like, I try not to show that emotion on my face when we're doing auctions.
Well, I think too, a lot of that happens, especially in the beginning, because it's like building a reputation. I think that's what we're doing too in the beginning. Maybe we were doing 10 lots and starting at $25 shipped, and between our time and the amount that Donna puts in, the work with everything, if she only got one or two bids, she wasn't making any money if she was breaking even. But now, because people have got to know her stuff and what she sends and everything, those particular things now are going and getting bid up to $50, $60, $80. I mean, we now have been over $100 on several lots that we would never have come close to before, because people just know now what the value is that they get. And Donna always has a habit of, throwing in a few extra goodies in all her boxes. So, people come to know that too.
And I'm able to do that because of the fact that when I buy a storage unit, most of the time I sell one or two items out of that storage unit, and the rest of it is all, for lack of better words, gravy. It's all gravy, but you still have to factor in my time. My time is worth something. Like, it takes a long time to invoice people and then, see if they paid and then pack the stuff up and, ship the stuff out. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So even though the actual tangible item is free cost of goods because it's already been paid for from the storage unit, I still have to empty the storage unit, organize the storage unit, and then put my bundles together, sell it, spend hours on the internet selling it, hours and hours on end just selling it. Then I have to pack it up. I have to invoice. I have to hope the people pay, because that happens too. I have to bring things back to auction and people don't pay. And everybody has, a situation here or there, and then ship it out. There's a huge process that goes with it. People, I think that, like someone says, oh, you make it look so easy, but it's not. It's a lot of work. Anybody who's done it, Anthony, you've done it on a much smaller scale than I do. I mean, I do 25 lots, one auction.
Yeah, you kill it. Like, I know Tiffany always calls you the boss lady, because you just like, you slay auctions. And like,
you're so funny.
But yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot just from watching you, because I did one before I started watching your channel. I did one auction on Derek's channel, and I completely switched up the way I did it just from watching the way you do it, because it's so smart. Because we're part of a community of resellers, and a lot of people want that bulk that they can then turn around and sell themselves. So now whenever I do auctions, I literally, every single one of my lots, it targets like people that can buy it at a lower cost than they normally would, turn
Yeah.
around and sell it and make some money.
Yeah, well, that's the whole, concept behind the auctions for you, because it's wholesale bulk buying. And
Yeah.
I often have people say, oh, I'd love to come on and do auctions. And, Donna and I have learned the hard way that we got to vet these people, because unfortunately, it has to be really geared towards the reseller. I'm not going to stand up here and have somebody just sell this one piece of thing because they think it's worth $10 and that's what they can get on eBay, because that's not what we're all about. Now, we have talked about maybe once a month coming in the future, we might accommodate like ourselves as resellers. I joked with somebody who wanted to sell their yard grow. And I said, well, I collect yard grow. And being a collector of that, yes, would I pay more than somebody actually buying a lot of it to sell on eBay? Yes. But that's what we're trying to stay and accommodate to the reselling community and not a collector community. But I'd be willing to, open that up to where, let's say the 5 of us just got on one night and we just had something that we didn't want to give away. We couldn't sell it. It's been sitting on eBay and we want to see if somebody else is interested. I'd be willing to do something like that once a month, but I don't want to make that the practice of the business, so to speak. I want to, because we do have a lot of people out there who are homebound. Now, for us, a lot of us are in the Northeast or, in the colder climates where we can't go out to a garage sale or things like that. So this is a good time of year for people to do this and buy from us, and Donna, is in Florida, so she's constantly getting stuff. So, it just pays for us to kind of sit back at home. And she'll tell you that was the other thing that's, I bought from her first before I even did this. And it was because I worked for corporate America and I didn't have time to go out and source stuff and shop on the weekends. So when I see Donna online on a Monday night with a box of clothes, I made a bid, and that's how I got involved. And I said, this is great, because now I don't have to go and find 25 pieces of, pairs of jeans or whatever it might be. And I can just source it right from the comfort of my own home.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from the lot I bought. I bought a video game lot from Donna, and she threw other things in it as well. And I paid $65. And the nice thing is everything's always free shipping with you guys. So you didn't have to worry about the shipping on top. But I mean, I've like quadrupled that $65 just in the one lot. You know what I mean? That I bought.
That's what we do. That's the reselling game. We all want a home run.
Something that you bought from me?
Yeah, and I
that's awesome.
I still have probably 2 or 3 video games left out that are like pretty decent. Like I'm holding out for top dollar on them.
Oh, that's awesome. I've got some video games coming this weekend. This weekend we're having our Friday night auction, and then we're going to be on. Did you tell them before when I was?
I haven't. I've had another death in my family. Unfortunately, it won't be on Sunday again.
Yeah, so my very good friend and our good friend Courtney, who has Bolo Buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know her, Bolo Buddies? Courtney,
Yeah.
Have you seen her in my chat? So she's invited us on. She won when I hit 1,000 subscribers. She won 100 ties for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then recently she bought some beautiful vintage earrings. So she's actually doing Saturday night. She's going to do like the first 10, 15 minutes. She's going to do an unboxing. And then she's invited T and I on so that her people can see exactly what we do, so that we can get her subscribers to come over to our channels and kind of like share. It's a wonderful collaboration of YouTubers. She's just awesome. So I have my Friday night auction with T, which is always a lot of fun. And then we go on for hours. And sometimes we open up at the end of the night. We open up the room and people can join in and we just have a discussion. And if we're not too tired, I mean, it's really fun to do that. But
yeah, sometimes we're on until 1:30.
Like I can already tell, I'm so exhausted this week because I had so much going on this week. But we do that on Friday night. Saturday night at 10:30, we're going to be on Bolo Buddies doing an auction for like an hour. I'll do like maybe 8 or 9 lots, 10 maybe at the most. And then I have my Sunday afternoon auction at 3 o'clock, which right now I'm going to be doing. I'll be doing it by myself, which is fine because I did it by myself last Friday night, and it was fine. It was. I might do it outside actually, and I have a beautiful yard. I got to get away from my haunted furniture and maybe create a beautiful landscape for someone. I just said
when are you by yourself, Donna?
The auction on Sunday?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do it by
Yeah,
myself.
usually I do it, but unfortunately, we lost a good friend yesterday, and they're going to wake him on Sunday and bury him on Monday. So it's 2 to 4 on Sunday, and it's not around the corner. It's out in Calverton, Long Island. He's going to be buried there too. So, yeah, it's been a horrible month for me with family and debts and
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
If my schedule ever aligns, Donna, and you like need somebody to call it due to like legalities, like I'd be willing to step in and help you.
Thank you. I'm looking at not T. I'm sorry, Tiffany. Tiffany did jump in on Sunday night, my late night auction. I jumped. When I went on like really late, Tiffany came in, and she helped, and that was so sweet. I actually got an email from someone that was at the auction that bought something, and I have to show it to you, Tiffany. She's like, it was so nice to hear Tiffany's voice on your auction. She just, came in as a voice, which was awesome. Auction info by state. Okay, thank you for that.
Michelle Lathan's like a wealth of knowledge. She's always dropping like perfect links for whatever we talk about.
Yeah, and don't tell Tiffany, but she needs a license in Louisiana too.
Oh, does she? Okay. Well, she was kind of like a voice in the background, so
Yeah, we're so small right now that, if we were all helping one another, it's not until if God forbid, we only hope we would get into like, thousands in the chat and, 50,000 subscribers that I would think that anybody would even knock on our door and say, hey, yo, know.
I think that if you're doing it like in a facility, and, advertising it, I mean, you still don't want to, break the law, but I think that if you were like really, really like a big time person, I think the state would come along, and maybe say something. Or if someone reported you, that's the only other way the state would find out. Usually with things like that, someone has reported you,
Right.
that you're doing something, because the state doesn't go out looking for people, small time people like me or you that are doing this online, without a license. But if reported, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take that one. I had to take the other one because I'm dealing with code enforcement right now. The community that I live in, T knows, the community that I live in is basically forcing us to cut down a tree because it's a black olive tree and it drops little black berries on the road, and they don't like the berries on the road. So they're like forcing us. So I called every nonprofit tree hugging agency in the whole entire United States to like get help to protect this tree, because the HOA in my community, they're a bunch of freaks. They love to dictate, and there's nothing in the bylaws that say we have to cut down the tree. So I'm building a case against them with the help of code enforcement, and that's who was that called me before they. So I'm like, I've got all this like stuff going on. My husband's like, just forget it. We'll cut down the tree. I'm like, no, there's nothing wrong with the tree. The tree's beautiful. It drops berries. They need to just get over it. But they're just like such freaks in my community. It's my neighbor. My neighbor just moved here from New York, and we have white driveways in our community, like white cobblestone ones, and the berries, go on his driveway, and he gets upset because there's blackberries on his driveway. So, yeah, New Yorkers, unbelievable.
Hey, I'm not your typical New Yorker. I've told you that before.
I'm surrounded. All those Yankee fans.
Don't hold those nut jobs in this state against me, because I don't deal with them.
Everyone that owns a house in my community, they're like retired New Yorkers, and they have no right to own a house in this community. They need to be in retirement communities. This is not a retirement community. They have these big homes, and there's like 2 of them living in these big homes because their children come and visit. Like they come down. They're all coming down now. They're like, it started, the snowbirds. Peace. We're done with, no more peace. New Yorkers. I love you.
I seen that you live in a pretty strict community, because I seen that you were talking about the other day when you had your teen party, young adult party, with the car issue on the street.
Oh my God, you have no idea. We even, so we have gotten violations because my daughter had yellow curtains I don't know what my husband's doing. My daughter had yellow curtains in her windows, and you're not allowed to have color showing on the outside of the homes. So they sent us a violation to replace the curtains in the windows. They have sent us a violation when the kids were younger. There was too many bicycles on our front lawn. You can't leave your garage door open for more than 10 minutes unless you are in the garage. If you're in the garage doing something, then the door can be open. But if you step away from the garage and leave your door open, it can't be open for more than 10 minutes. It has to be closed. But to their defense, you drive through my neighborhood, like you can't put a flower pot in front of your house without permission from the architectural department. You have to ask permission. But to their defense, and I hate them, but to their defense, there's no one flying stupid CD discs from their trees in my community, and there's no unsightly, flower pots with the weeds growing out of them, or everybody's garage doors are closed. So when you drive through the neighborhood, you don't see people's messes, or in my community, nobody has a messy garage door. Garage.
Yeah, we have the same, but I mean, it's not as strict, but I live in an incorporated village, and there's certain rules. Like you cannot park a car overnight in certain spots. Like you can't park in Donna's community. You cannot have a car without a license plate. It has to, even if it's in your driveway, it has to be registered. You have to have a license plate on the car. You can't put a fence up without, a permit or whatever. And if you live on a corner, you can't have a bush or a fence or anything within so many feet setback. So, it's similar, but it does keep the neighborhood, looking nice and looking whatever.
It does. It does.
You don't move into Donna's community and you don't come to an incorporated village. You live somewhere.
They're just, when we moved here, let's see, we bought this house 10 years ago. 10 years we've been here. And, we have a guard at the gate, and there's a, 6-foot wall around our entire property. And we have a guard at the gate. And I felt like the kids were really little back then, and I felt very safe coming and living in a community like this. And guess what? We have to pay on top of our mortgage and our insurance and household expenses. We have to pay for those rules. we pay $460 a month for those rules.
Wow.
Our HOA.
I'd be kicked out of there so fast.
Yeah, for sure. I would say in my neighborhood, you can't leave the garage door open for more than 10 minutes either, but it's because people come in and ransack your house.
So my son's friend has a Ferrari, and do you know how loud? He's 19 years old. Yes, he comes from a very wealthy family. Do you know how loud Ferraris are? So when he drives down the street, the whole street rumbles because Ferraris are like super, super loud. And then my son's other friend he's sort of like a little bit of a Florida redneck. Ben, he's like a son to me. I love him to death. And he has a big, huge dually diesel Ford, like vintage pickup truck. It's so beautiful. And when he drives down the road rumbles. So our neighbors hate us. They hate us. And it doesn't matter if it's a $100,000 car or if it's an old pickup truck. They despise us because we have such an active household. Like, one Friday night, my son and all his friends were hanging out in front of the house deciding like what they were going to do. You guys remember doing that, right? With your friends hanging out. My house is the hangout house, but I just had 20 teenagers here for a birthday party last weekend. My house is definitely the hangout house. They know they can get a good Italian meal here because I'm always cooking. They're always cooking, right? So, they're like, they hang out in front of my house on a Friday or Saturday night, and the nosy neighbors, they walk by with this like scowl on their face because the kids are just, playing their music from their cars. And yeah, it's like so not allowed. It's not allowed to do that. They forget what it's like to be kids. I love it. I pull up and I see all the kids and all the cars here, and I'm like, I'd rather them be here at my house because I know where they are, than somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My mom was always the same way too. I mean, she's hardcore Italian as well, and she she always said, I'd rather you and your friends be here, so at least I know you're safe and I know what you're doing and, all that stuff. And, she was super cool like that too. I'd always have a house full of people in my house.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you know what? It makes for a lot of work. It's like the house, it's hard to keep the house clean because there's so much in and out. And I swear my husband's had to replace the doorknob on our door in 10 years, probably 4 times, because it literally they've broken and worn out from use of just opening and closing the front door constantly. And, but yeah, I would much rather have it that way. And, there's other parents that don't allow that because they're too selfish. They don't want their house to get dirty. They don't want their food to get eaten. They just let their kids just come and just stay here. It's crazy. So I haven't been keeping up with the chat. I don't know if there's any questions on there or not. I'm just kind of like looking at you guys and just chatting away.
Just a lot of people talking about their housing situation and how they feel about different types of, whether it's HOA or if they live in a small town, that kind of stuff mainly.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like I don't mind like some of the strictness if I would move somewhere like that, but it's more the pettiness that comes along with it, like like hanging out in front of the house or a couple other things like that, just being petty. Like if they want everything very neat and taken care of and trimmed, I totally understand that. I agree, and I would hope my neighbors would do that too. But that's not always the case. But all the extra rules and other stuff is just ridiculous. You pay all that money to live there. You pay the fees on top of that to live there, and it's basically like you're in some like different country of how people do stuff. It's almost like you're in Cuba or something. There's people like walking around with guns and basically like, hey, don't do that. We're going to come after you and find you and, whatever, so I couldn't do that.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And then me with my reselling business, I mean, my packages piled up. Like I had all the packages piled up. I keep them like on the right side of my garage door, so they're closed so that the mail truck can like pull into my driveway. He backs up into my driveway to get all my packages, and the 2 old lady neighbors that just arrived from New York, probably, they're walking by and they're like looking at the packages like with a horror in their face, like they didn't know what was going on. And my neighbors must think, what is she doing with all those packages going out every day?
After listening to Donna, I don't like my little town, but it kind of makes me appreciate it a little bit more because, they're complaining about bikes on your front lawn.
Yep.
I put boats on mine.
Oh, you can't do that here in the incorporated village.
I'll have a boat on the front lawn, a camper in the driveway, a bonfire in the backyard with buddies coming over with their straight pipe custom cars and motorcycles.
No, and I live on Long Island where we have water on both sides. You cannot have a boat on your property.
That's
have
crazy.
To dock it or store it or whatever. And if you have a motorhome, if you want to keep it on your property has to be big enough that you can pay, number 1, for a permit, number 2, to have a concrete cement slab made on the side or the back of your house to store it. Like this, a whole big trust.
Yeah, that's crazy. Speaking of things on the front lawn, I live like 6 blocks from where my church was located. And one of the reasons when we bought it, I got it so cheap at auction is because in the grassy area in front of the church, there were shell casings, syringes, and empty stamp bags. So like those are the types of things you find like in the
it was a war zone basically.
Oh, that's the other thing. You can't have any signs on your lawn here. So like if you put Remax or Century 21, you want your house for sale. Nobody knows your house is for sale because you're not allowed to put that big, stake in the ground with the house for sale.
Same here. You're not allowed to have any. And then also holiday decorations have to be removed 10 days after the holiday, or you get a violation. We got a violation. We have our roof on our house, we just replaced it, and it's one of those clay barrel roofs. You know what I'm talking about, like the Spanish style roofs. It's the clay barrel. So we had a storm, and the tree in question right now, my big huge tree, smacked, because the storm, it smacked the tiles and cracked some of the tiles, and we got some water damage. So we were having the insurance come. We put an insurance claim in through our homeowners association. They fought with us a little bit, which is normal when you own a house and you try to put a claim in to your homeowners. You can have homeowners insurance for 10 years and not put a claim in. You put one claim in, they will either deny you, appeal it, and then if they do pay for it, they cancel you. Right, T? It's like, it's unbelievable. But anyways, so we were fighting with the insurance company to replace the roof. And the homeowners association sent us a letter saying that we had such and such a date, time to replace the roof. Well, it's a $26,000 roof to replace our roof. And we were waiting for the insurance company to send us the check to replace the roof. We had contracted the roofing company, and we sent the HOA the contract saying we have contracted a roofer and we are replacing the roof. We missed the deadline. They fined us $1,000.
Wow.
We had to pay $1,000 fine. We missed the deadline. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it says here, look at, I'll show you. This is the letter. Look what it says. A charge against you and your unit shall be secured by a lien in your unit. They call the house a unit. May be foreclosed on by the association. This is the demand. Therefore, demand is hereby made within 15 days of the date of this notice. You must remove the offending tree. Do you see that? Offending tree. Are they freaks? As identified in our prior letter to you, September 13th, in the event you fail to do so, the association may be entitled. Do you see that? Entitled to contact to have the tree removed at our cost. I call bull.
That's crazy.
So they wouldn't like the guy that a block down that's had a tarp on his roof since like September, beginning of
Oh my
September.
God.
No.
This is consumed, let me tell you, this has consumed 2 days, 2 of my days, because I am battling these people. I am so angry, and code enforcement is totally on my side, and they're like, they better not touch that tree, because if they cut that tree down, there's no reason to cut that tree down, because it's dropping bed. It's offending them. My tree is offending them, and they want me to cut it down. My husband got like 3 estimates to cut down the trees. It's going to cost between like $3,000 and $3,500 to cut down the tree if we chose to cut down the tree. And I'm like, bull crap, I'm not cutting down the tree. And so the code enforcement said if they cut down the tree, it's on your property, and they cut down, you can cut it down, but if they cut it down, they're looking at a $25,000 fine for touching our tree. So this is about to go down, you guys. It's going down. They pull up here with a tree truck to cut down my tree. Can you believe they're going to cut down my tree?
Well, if you remove a tree here, not only do you need a permit, but you have to replace it.
Yeah, you have to replace it here too. I have to replace it with another shade tree. It just can't be as big as that. 2. My husband said they want us to replace it with two. How many feet? 12-foot shade trees on the property. It's crazy. So yeah, so I've been dealing with this for the past 2 days, and it's really consumed a lot of my time. But I'm not giving up. I'm not. Would you guys? I'm not giving up. You know, I'm just like, I'm fighting this tooth and nail. I mean, this is my house. We pay the taxes. It's my property, my tree. Don't touch it. It's not offending me. Just because it's offending you.
It's
How do
crazy.
you like that? How do you like that word? The offending tree. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Order to give somebody the branch.
Oh my God. And then we are entitled. Entitled. Okay. Enough about that. But that's what I've been doing for the past 2 days. On top of my auctions and my sourcing and my, I know we all have our issues, but to me, this is a huge issue. Like, I am all over this. I called every tree. I called Tree City USA. I called every tree company, every nonprofit for backup and help. I want them to come down here and hold hands around my tree. when the HOA comes to cut it down, I want them to form a barrier.
Tracy.
Yeah, don't start shit with Donna. No kidding, right, Tracy? You better not.
I want to screen share something because my buddy lived in a neighborhood when I was a teenager, and people used to complain because his dad put up that fence, the wooden fence here. They didn't like it. It was just wooden. It was naked colored. They complained. So he painted it purple. Piss him off. Then he complained about that. So he painted his house purple. And everything they complained, every time he got a complaint, he would add a flower to the paint, or he did something.
Wow.
Finally, they stopped complaining.
Well, I have news for you. That would be $1,000 of fines here.
He did it. There was a big write-up in the Milwaukee Journal about it. It's on Google everywhere. If you type up "purple house in Milwaukee," it'll pop up, because he just didn't. I mean, he was regular in city. He wasn't in gated community or anything. So, like, there was nothing they technically could do to stop him.
Yeah.
But they would complain to the city. The city would give a notice requesting that he would change it. And he was like, nope, I'll just add to it. He ended up with camouflage netting over his backyard. And
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well,
No.
when we first moved here, well, not right away, but within a year, we decided to dorm her up. I mean, that was our plan when we bought the house. We knew we had to expand. And because we wanted to go over the garage, laws about setback and how many feet or whatever. So it was what they call non-conforming status, because the garage already was not conforming to the setback. So we had to have a hearing at the town hall, the whole 9 yards. The neighbors get all notified. They come. And the former mayor of the town, who lives in the area, was there. And he says to my husband, what happened to that trellis on the side of your yard? And there was like this, PVC, or I don't know at the time, plastic, whatever it was, trellis that had some vines intertwined or whatever, but it had overgrown stuff on it. My husband just took it down. It was cracked anyway. And my husband said, we removed it. And he said to my husband, boy, you take a lot of liberties with your property, don't you? Are you kidding? I mean, this is how sick people are. But
That's crazy.
so crazy.
Yeah, all the
I'm
fees
here
and
for
fines.
7 years of my life. My father still lives, 4 blocks away. So this is where I grew up, but not staying much longer. We're done.
I do have to say, the rules are the rules. The community that I live in is beautiful. I don't have such desirable neighbors in this part of the community. I do have friends in other parts of the community. My street, all of the people are horrible. And but I love how centrally located my community is, and how safe it is. That you can't enter my community unless you have a valid ID. They take a picture of the driver of the car. They take a picture of the license plate of the car, and I love that security and that strictness that they have. I mean, I'm all about having that kind of security. I love that. I do love that. But I mean, we've got 1 foot out the door as well. I mean, probably another couple of years before my daughter still has 3 years left of high school, so we're not going to buy another house. 2 years of high school. My husband corrected me. We're not going to buy another house in Palm Beach Gardens. We're going to go a little bit further north, Lisa, see if she's still in the chat. She is. We're going to look up in Martin County, which is the county adjacent to Palm Beach County, and Lisa lives in Martin County. The taxes are so much cheaper, and you can get a lot more house for your money, and you can't touch houses like where we live. If we sold our house, we wouldn't be able to get a house that's like equivalent right now with what we have for equity in our house, because the prices of houses have gone like through the probably T with your neighborhood too. The prices of houses have gone like through the roof. So we're going to have to go a little bit further north to get either equivalent or something a little bit better. But then again, the kids are getting older now. So do we downsize or do we upsize, or, so we're kind of like on the fence as to what we're going to do with this house. But we're stuck here for at least another 2 years. Yeah, we're stuck. Lisa said she's going further north, getting insane here. Lisa, you're in Stewart or Jensen Beach? I can't remember. I know I asked her before, and I've mailed to her before, but I can't remember where she said that she I can't remember where she's at, but she's just up the road from me. And it's like, developing, going up that way. Martin County is very nice, though. Yeah, I like Martin County.
Me and Ashley have talked about moving to Orlando. The only problem is the hospital she works at is putting her through school starting in September. So I think that takes like a year and a half. And then after that, she has to work 2 years there. So we're kind of not going to even consider it until after that.
Orlando's tough. Oh, she's in Stewart. Stewart's beautiful. I love Stewart. I love Stewart, Hope Sound, Jensen Beach. My husband and I, we love Port Salerno. Like sometimes, before I did my Sunday auctions, we would get a cup of coffee and just go drive around Port Salerno. There's a place up there called the Twisted Tuna. We would go there and have lunch. I love it up there. It's really, really nice. But Orlando's tough, Anthony. Oh my God, I hate Orlando.
Really? Wow.
Well, number one, it's really, really congested. Number one, it takes you a long time to get anywhere, and it's very transient, very, very transient. Because of the tourism that's there, and so yeah, I mean, there's the outskirts of Orlando, like Winter Park, and some of those towns that are not so bad. But we go to Orlando. My daughters play travel volleyball, so we go to Orlando like 4 or 5 times a year, and I dread going there because it takes, oh my gosh, it takes so long to get 10 minutes down the road. It takes forever. It's awful.
Hey, Stewart sounds familiar, and Destiny can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she has family that lives in Stewart as well.
She has family in Tequesta, which Tequesta is 2 miles from me. I know that she has family in Tequesta, and she has family in Juno Beach. Ocala. Lisa, you're thinking of going to Ocala? I couldn't. That's kind of like in the middle of the state. I need to be near the ocean. Ocala is like really, really, and then that's the other thing about Orlando, Anthony, is it's about an hour and a half from the Atlantic, so you get very stagnant air. Like it's in the middle of like the state, really. Orlando, and you get a lot of very stagnant air there. Grandma lives in Ocala. Ocala is horse country and it's cheap. Yeah, it's kind of like in the middle of the state. Ocala also. I had some business in Ocala and Rump Stump, and he loved it there. Yeah, Ocala. We have horse country here too, about 20 miles from Ocala, West Coast. Wouldn't take it 10 minutes to get 10 minutes down the road. That's my Dolores. Maybe she wants to come over and help me today.
Awesome.
I have a friend who has OCD really bad, and she likes to come over and help me. Like when I get jewelry, like in storage units, I load it all up in like a big bin, and then I do my jewelry jars, and there's a whole bunch of earrings in the bottom of the bin, and she spent like 4 hours matching up all the earrings. I had all the earring boards behind me, and she was so funny. And when she left, she's like, I'm very fulfilled. Because she was matching earrings all day long. OCD going on.
Find some friends like that.
No.
I
I
can't.
had a
find
girlfriend
my
like
order.
that live with us for a little while. It was the best. She did nothing but clean because everything had to be perfect.
Really crazy. Like when she comes to my house, I have to make sure that there's not a dish in the sink. I have to clean before she gets here because if she sees dishes in the sink, like I can see it in her face. It makes her kind of like she doesn't mind helping me prepare for my auctions, and she doesn't mind like helping me empty storage units. She's in a lot of my videos, but when she comes to the house, if it's like messy or like unfolded laundry in a basket, like on the couch, normal stuff, you guys. We all have that, right?
Mhm.
She doesn't have that. Like you walk into her house and you're like, where's all your stuff? Like she has no stuff around anywhere. OCD people are like that. I love it. I love my OCD friend. I'm so fortunate I have one.
For sure. I gotta find one. I'll put an ad out in the paper. OCD wants to come.
Everybody needs to have an OCD friend. Everyone needs an OCD friend. I'm very fortunate that I have a really, really great one.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. But if there's any questions in the chat, you guys, I mean, if you have any questions for me or T, go ahead and ask them. And if not, I think I need to get my shipping done, and I'm going to have a really busy weekend of auctions. So I need to call Dolores back and see if she'll help me make some bundles. See, Donna, were you able to connect with my Auntie Kelly? No, I didn't even know that you sent me information about Auntie Kelly, but I would love to. Can you auction her off next week? I'll tell her that. That is so cute. That is so funny. I want my house lived in to some extent. Yeah, but this kind of lived in is a little bit too much. I got to get my orders out. Bring her to the storage clean out. Would you make a great video? She is. She's in a lot of my videos. She's in my hoarders video. She's in a lot of my storage cleanouts. $25 shipped. So
Hey,
funny.
Steve Punktown. So I have a question for you. Because I'm starting to dabble in storage. What are some tips you would give a new person to storage that doesn't have much help? Because I know, like, a lot of times you don't have very much help.
Don't buy anything bigger than a 5x5.
5x5. Let me just say a 5x5. Okay, so our pickup truck has got a 7-foot bed on it. So when you're thinking it's 5x5, some of these units are 10 feet tall, and they can be stacked all the way up. So it's taken me 3 truckloads with a pickup truck, a 7-foot bed, to empty a 5x5.
Wow.
So don't always think that 5x5 is just 5 feet worth of 5 feet of stuff. That's no big deal, because sometimes you don't always see that in the pictures. Sometimes you look at the picture and you can't see that it goes all the way to the ceiling. You get there and you're like, holy crap, there's boxes stacked all the way to the ceiling. If you don't have any help, I would reach out to friends that maybe have teenagers and see if you can get them to help you. I mean, it is, and I know you have a bad back, Anthony. It is back-breaking work. Like my back, I have to ice my back, and my back hurts. After I empty a unit, because when you're lifting 10, 15-pound boxes, to empty out a unit all day long, loading them into a truck and then loading them, into the garage or your warehouse or whatever. So it's a ton. It's a ton of work. Not to discourage you. I just don't want you to get into something that might be, too much for you to handle. A lot of the times it's too much for me to handle, and I have a lot of help.
I've been targeting smaller units so far that have like a lot of bags and boxes and like no furniture or anything like heavy. So I'm trying to kind of start with that, and then if I can manage it, then I'll kind of ramp it up. I know Nate's offered to partner with me on storage units, and he has a stronger back than me, so it'd be a good partnership, I think.
Nate.
Are you guys close to one another then? I didn't realize
he
you
lives
guys were
in
close.
Pittsburgh too, but he's on the other side of town, so we're about an hour's drive from each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I drive sourcing half hour, 45 minutes in my sleep. So
You have to find a storage unit 30 minutes either direction. This way, you guys,
Yeah,
I mean, even
normally do that. Like we'll go sourcing in a town where our bins is. That's like the middle point between where he lives and I live. We'll kind of just hit a bunch of stores and buy stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, even if I had to drive the whole hour, it's not a big deal. I have like little like car DVD thing for the kids. They're content. I'm gonna get some McDonald's. They'll be fine.
Yeah. I would definitely target something that had mostly like bags, Anthony, so that it's not so, so strenuous on you. And, if you're going to sort at the unit, like I did a video, like things that you need. I don't know if you watched that, things that you need if you're considering buying a storage unit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good video. It's a short video, but one of the things that I bring is a table, because you don't want to like be bending over, breaking your back, like sorting through the stuff. So bring a folding table, set up a folding table. I sort all my stuff at the storage unit. We do it pretty fast.
I've seen that.
Yeah, because I line up my bins and things get wiped down and put in the bins. Because I had a storage unit that I used to pay for. It was $326 a month. And I decided to let that go because to cut expenses, it was just too much money. So my husband has surrendered our two-car garage to my business, and he invested almost $1,000 in shelving that goes along both sides. And I have all of my bins kind of like lined up in there. He's over it. He wants to park the garage back into the driveway. So I have to like find another solution, because now it's like, it's gotten to be too much. But anyways, you don't want to bring home any critters. That's why I go through everything. I open every box. We shake everything out. You don't want to bring home any, cockroaches or fleas or mice.
Or even mice, because they could be in something you don't even realize.
I find mice all the time.
Wow.
I find mice all the time.
And nobody ever talks about that when they do their videos. It's all about the good. And Donna does a lot to explain the bad and the ugly besides.
I do. Like I had one unit that was full of termites. It was awful. Yep, it was full of termites. They were all dead, but it was full of termites. So all that stuff went to the dump. And someone made a comment on one of my YouTube videos. It was kind of like a harsh comment. The person wrote, "It seems like you take so much stuff to the dump and dump it. You really should find a nonprofit organization to donate your things to." And I have videos that I do donate a bunch of stuff to a bunch of nonprofits. I mean, that's, I do that all the time. But I'm like, dude, I'm not going to donate stained clothes or rat-infested crap or pooped on pee-stained things to a thrift store. It's going to the dump. Like, mind your own business. I was like so upset when I saw that comment. Like people make comments without even like, of course I'm not going to throw away things that I know can be used for charity.
Yeah.
Go watch my other videos. You'll see how much I donate to charity.
Yeah,
So
it's great to help out like that, and then it also saves you from your dump costs too. So it's just,
oh my gosh, I
it's a
pay a
win-win.
lot of money in dump cost.
Right.
That's part of the expense. Like, couple of units I've bought, I've dumped over 2 tons of trash at the. There's a couple of really funny dumping videos of me and Dolores at the dump when I had heat stroke, and we pull in and I'm like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, because the smell was so bad. And I'm like, and that was real life. Like, I wasn't making that up. I mean, the dump is disgusting.
And Lisa C makes a good point in the chat. She says nonprofits can be picky about what they take, and that's so true. I mean, even if you were to call the Salvation Army up for your own personal stuff in your house, they want to know if there's any rips, tears, stains, scratches. Otherwise, they don't want it.
Yeah, because it costs so much to dump that stuff. You should have seen the crap people used to donate when I had my thrift store. And then I used to have to load it up into the truck and bring it to the dump. Their trash, I had to bring to the dump and dump it and pay to dump it. So I would never do that to a thrift store.
Well, I laugh at half these storage units that you go to and the mattresses. Like, who stores a dirty mattress? Like, why
Awful.
do you store a dirty mattress? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me.
Awful. Bums my son out so bad. Like when I say to him, I bought a storage unit, he'll be like, does it have a mattress in it? Because they're always stained and disgusting. And, like he helps me empty out the storage units, and he takes the mattress and puts it in the truck, and it's got to go to the dump, and it's gross. It's gross, it's
Yeah.
disgusting. Dirty mattresses. And there's one in like every unit I buy. And I tend to buy the bigger units because we have the equipment to handle that. So a lot of people, the smaller units will get bid up on because people can handle smaller units because they may have an SUV or a pickup truck and they figure I'll make 2-3 trips. Where the bigger units, the 10 by 30s and the 20 by 30s, people don't have the means to be able to clean out a unit like that, where I do. So I tend to bid on the bigger units, and then it's a lot. It's a lot of work to empty it out. Yeah. So
Yeah. Cliff says that they donate to the thrift store for free just to save from paying on dump fees. And yeah, I mean, people.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, as Tiffany would say, 100%. I love when she says that. I love that. 100%. She'll say 100%. It's true. It's true. Yep. They used to bring me all their trash, and I used to have to dump it. So now I just, I pay for it to be dumped. Sleeping Beauty just woke up 11:30. No. Oh, you've been up? I have one of my daughters. She homeschools herself. She's what are you, a junior? She's a junior. And she homeschools herself, and she nannies, and she works part-time in a hair salon, and she plays on a travel volleyball team, and she got MVP as a freshman for the varsity team 2 years ago, and she got MVP again last year, and she is recognized by the Palm Beach County, what is that, Commission of Athletics or something, all conference player. They pick like 10 all conference. She's like everything you want your child to be. I have one of those. It's so scary. It's so scary because you have children. Anthony, you have small kids, right?
I don't. I just have fur kids. Nate has small kids.
Oh, Nate, you worry. You want your kids to grow up to be like, hang out with the right crowd and not be gothic. Not that there's anything wrong with gothic, but I think every parent doesn't want their child to be gothic. So when they grow up and they're not gothic, you're so happy.
Unless there's some gothic parents, then maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For a while.
No offense,
You'd never believe it.
no offense if there's any gothic people in the audience. I didn't mean to offend anybody. God, maybe tonight I should dress up in gothic just for Halloween, just to apologize to everyone.
No big deal.
Oh my God, mattresses are $25 each to dump. Probably. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, when I go into the dump, they weigh my truck. You pull onto a big scale, and they weigh you, and you have to give them, it's cash, and you have to give them money. Usually I give them like $40, and then you go in and you have to empty your own truck out. You empty it out. There's videos on this, and then on your way out, they weigh your truck again to see how many pounds you removed off your truck, and then that's what you pay for the.
I've never actually had to go to the dump for anything yet. Luckily, normally the stuff I don't want, I just take to Goodwill, and whatever they don't take, like I've always had access to a dumpster. This is like the first time in my life I haven't had access to a dumpster.
Yeah, no, I just go right to the dump, get rid of it. Can't put it out in front of the house. I probably would get a violation. I'm only allowed one trash can.
That sucks.
It's like you're only allowed a 6x6x8 trash can.
One trash can, that's it.
You have to use a biodegradable garbage bag.
No, not yet. Give them the ideas, please.
Can't use Walmart garbage bags in your bathroom.
Tracy says she's offended.
She, gosh.
She's
Sorry.
just kidding though. If you know Tracy, she's
Yeah, I
very
know.
hard to offend.
I know. Yeah.
I definitely do appreciate you ladies coming on today. This has been a really fun show.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know Donna's in a crunch to get that stuff done.
Yeah, I got to get a lot of my shipping out.
Typically, we just kind of let it roll if the chat's still engaged. But if you're in a rush to go, we can call it now if you'd like.
Well, I can leave and you guys can keep going. I mean, I'm just going to go. I've got like 4 phone calls I got to return to, and I've got to get my shipping out. But I love you guys, and thank you so much for everyone for hanging out. And don't forget, tomorrow night, T and I will have our auction, and then over to Bolo Buddies. Subscribe to Courtney. She's really, really super. And yeah, and then Sunday afternoon, I think I'm going to do it out in the backyard. So that should be fun. Just a little change of atmosphere. So
You've got a lot of bundles to get together Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week.
I have a lot of bundles already ready.
All right, good.
So don't worry. Don't worry about me and my bundles.
Before you jump out, could you just say something in the chat so that way everybody has the 3 dots, they can go and subscribe to you?
Oh, sure. Okay.
I'm sure most people know you already, but for the odd occurrence that somebody doesn't, I definitely want to make sure that they can follow you and check out all of the awesome auctions that the 2 of you do.
Actually, T, I don't have enough bundles put together yet. I was lying.
I know you are. I'm not. You do well.
And I'm sorry for lying. I just wanted to make myself seem bigger than I was. But I am going to be ready. I promise you, I am going to be ready. And I apologize for being on late today.
Not a problem, Donna. We're just happy that you were able to make it.
Respect. Okay. Bye.
All right, guys.
See you later, Donna.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh wait,
Bye-bye.
before you leave, Donna, before you leave, you got to check out Destiny. Hurry up, she's got to go.
Destiny, let me see you, honey. Oh, are you kidding? Look at
I'm already ready for Halloween.
Oh,
Wow.
Awesome. Patrick's.
come closer to the. I want to see your makeup. Come closer to the camera.
I just see the black. I thought she was trying to be gothic.
Can you enlarge her, Anthony?
Yeah.
Oh, your makeup is awesome.
Oh,
Oh,
there you go. Yeah, that's definitely not gothic.
No, so pretty. Did you do that? Did you do the makeup?
I did.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Thank you.
What
I'm
are
all
you?
Sparkly.
Oh, I
What's that?
love it. Awesome. Good job, honey.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye, you guys.
See
Bye.
you, Donna. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to her. Seriously, she is awesome. She always has really good deals on her channel. And make sure you're also subscribing to T. I do want to share a quick bolo. I was just scrolling through my email, and let me share my screen real quick. Well, I don't know if it's a bolo. It's like a bolo for next year, I would say. Not really a bolo for right now, but I've made a lot of money going to Goodwill the day of Halloween or the day after Halloween, and just buying up all like the newer costumes and saving them till like next year, listing them in August and letting them sell through like full price. So 75% off of Halloween at your Goodwill today. So if you guys are into buying stuff cheap and flipping it high, which I hope all of you are, that's a good opportunity to go get Halloween stuff for like pennies on dollar and store it for next year.
That's one thing that I really want to start doing is have a storage unit dedicated to just after season sales that I can just put in there, store till the season next year. Because with Halloween, with Christmas decorations and lights and everything, you get that stuff so cheap right after. And if you save it, you don't mind sitting on it till the next year. You can make good money.
Yeah, especially if you're getting it for like 75 to 90% off. I mean,
Right.
even if you pay all the storage fees or whatever, I mean, unless you're buying like the super humongous one, there's no way that that would hurt your bottom line, for what you're going to make on those items, throughout the year. So
Yeah, and I understand not tying up money, like if that's an issue for you, but the prices you're going to pay on it right now, like for example, like a lot of that stuff at Goodwill is sub $7, maybe $7. So 75% off of that, like you're literally going to be paying like $2, maybe even less on some items. And like say you take a $20 bill and you put it in the bank to collect interest. That's essentially what you'd be doing right now on that Halloween stuff.
Or even if you
make a lot better interest.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
or even
Last
if you
year
just
I
spent
went-
100.
Last
You
year I
spent
went
a
and bought
couple.
2 totes worth of stuff, and it paid off this year, just like sitting on it, listing it all over the summer.
Yeah, because you're only gonna have to sell like what I would do if my Goodwill has them. I'll go buy 50 to 100 of them, depending on what's there. You know what I mean? Because it's if I buy 50, it's like around $100. I
Mhm.
sell say I sell 10 of them, I'm breaking even. You know what I mean? The rest is, which is going to be a lot left, 40. If I sell them at $7 or whatever, just to push them through right before the end of the season, you're still making good money on that. So
Yeah. Me and Ash do that a lot with end of season stuff. Like, for example, like Walmart, whenever things, seasons change, we'll go pick up all the stuff and then we'll just sell it before the next season starts. So the trick is getting it cheap enough to where it doesn't affect cash flow. So that's why I used the $20 example. Even if you take just $20, you know what I mean, and you invest it now into Halloween stuff, come next August, you list it, you'll turn that $20 into probably $200 just selling the stuff at full cost. So
I see we got Pat D's in chat. He'll be joining us tomorrow.
absolutely, he will be the esteemed guest.
People will want to tune in for that. He's got an
Make
interest.
sure you have cheeseburgers ready.
What's that?
Make sure you have the cheeseburgers ready.
Oh yeah, okay.
we'll have to have a commercial sponsored by Wendy's.
Yeah.
We should. You know what we should do? We should all run out and get a Baconator first thing in the morning.
Yeah, right.
You know what I did last night? We were talking about Big Macs the other day during that working hangout, and I hadn't been able to get rid of the hankering for one, so I went and bought a Big Mac last night.
Pat D, I need some coupons. You're my watchman, but I need a coupon, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to drop a link real quick for T's channel.
I've been commenting in the chat too. They just have to hit the 3 dots.
Guys, hit those 3 dots. Do me a favor right now. Let me see what T's at. She's at 252. Let's at least try to get her to 260. Like I think we probably have enough people in here that probably aren't subbed to T that we could at least hit her with 8 more subs before we close out today. So if you could, I'm dropping a link right now.
You know what's really funny? That channel's gonna surpass my Great Find review because I've been promoting that one so much more. I also haven't done any content at all on the other channel, and I really have to do that too. It's like there's not enough hours in the day, and I just spent almost 2 with you guys, and it's like, oh my god, I have so much to do.
We're going to end it out here in a minute. I just wanted to make sure that we promoted you before.
Thank you. I appreciate
for
it.
your time. So please go over, guys. Subscribe to her if you could. Just throw the number subscriber you are in the chat. Or if you're already subscribed, just put a 1. That way we know that you are already.
Thank you, Tammy.
Tammy's going to go over and subscribe.
Thanks, Tammy.
Yeah. Exactly, Lisa. She said 260. Heck, 300. You bunch of slackers. And shared you to Facebook, so that's awesome.
We will have a giveaway at 300. Haven't decided what yet, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Anthony's
figure out.
almost at 1,000. We have to get you to 1,000, Anthony.
I know. I'm trying to figure out like a good giveaway for that. And I told my nephews I'd let them like film the video with me because they're like all about being on YouTube. So I'm waiting for them to get back from Punta Cana. And then hopefully by then I'll be at the 1,000 mark.
I'm only
Dad's Vintage Garage in the house. Thank you.
Hey, John.
Sandala, thank you.
I'm only 14 away from my giveaway. 250.
Yeah, Dad's Vintage Garage. I heard you have something that I might be interested in. We're gonna have to connect up. I want to chat with you.
Pat says cheeseburgers at 300.
Told you he loves his cheeseburgers.
Yeah, maybe I should do something like that for maybe I'll send somebody per Manny Brothers when I hit 1,000 or something like that.
For Manny Brothers. Oh,
Thank you.
John Jones, you were not subscribed?
Oh yeah, that's right. Dee's giving away a webcam when she hits 1,000. She needs 70 more.
Nice.
Yeah. Me and Dee are gonna race now because her and Tommy were racing and Tommy hit the 1,000 yesterday. So now I'll race Dee. I need I think like 65 last I checked. But I hope she makes it first. She deserves it. She's been grinding towards 1,000 longer than I have, I think. That would be awesome, Lisa. I told my nephews, because they're all about talking about YouTube to everybody. I said, you need to get me some Dominican subs while you're down there in Punta Cana. You know, if they're still watching this, they were on their mom's account when we first started. If you guys are still watching this, I haven't seen any Dominicans pop in yet, so you guys are slacking. Better get to it. D says Tommy cheats.
Right.
Absolutely. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for joining us this morning. Make sure you subscribe to T. And tomorrow we're on Tommy's channel with Pat Dees as our special guest. So make sure you tune in for that. Let's get Nate those last 13 subs or whatever he needs. So that way he'll give, what are you doing? An Amazon gift card, you said, or something like that?
we're doing that at 250. We're doing a $25 gift card, and then like 500 we'll do 50, and at the 1,000 I'll do 100.
That's awesome, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so let's get him there, guys. $25 gift card. I don't know about you, but I kind of want one.
I'm telling you.
And after Pat D's jumped in, I kind of want a cheeseburger too. So.
I know. I've been thinking.
I got a box of burgers up in my freezer. I'm gonna have.
I think
Oh no, you gotta use fresh chopped meat. No, none of that frozen stuff.
These really good patties are freshly made in the butcher. They're prime rib patties.
Oh, nice.
Paul's been trying to do a giveaway, but he can't break 200. Are you at 200 now, Paul? Where are you at? Guys, go show Gate City Picker some love. That poor man deserves 200 plus subscribers.
Right.
Look at Pat. I need 90,500 to get to 100,000. Can we? You can do it, Pat.
Oh, we'll make that happen tomorrow. Show, no problem.
Yeah, we'll get you there, Pat.
Yeah, no problem.
See, everybody wants a burger now.
Tell you
should be a spokesman for Wendy's.
For sure.
Gonna sponsor some videos.
Baconator.
Bacon.
Paul just had Wendy's. You lucky son of a gun.
Start sending Pat stacks of coupons like it's high.
Yeah.
Like, what's this priority package from Wendy's? And it's like, opens it up. It's like 900 coupons with YouTube stickers of Pat D.
That's awesome.
I don't mind coupons. I take a discount anytime I can get it.
Absolutely.
Right? Sure.
Cool. So yeah, guys, we're going to go ahead and wind down. Dee has a show coming up at noon Eastern. That's Flipping Particles for you guys that don't know her. She's on that road to 1K. So if you haven't subscribed to her, please do so. I think it's important that we all support each other and help each other reach our goals. So if you're a content creator in here, just put a 1 in the chat so everybody knows to go and subscribe to you. and we will go ahead and we're going to sign off for today. But I appreciate everyone for coming out, and we'll see you tomorrow on Tommy's channel.
See you then.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.